Hi, this is Justin with Justin's Web Design. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Manage Images feature. And this is a great feature if you are using a lot of images. Then this will allow you to better organize your images and make it easier to find them when you're ready to use them. We're just going to do a quick overview at the beginning here. If you go over to Content and Manage Images, then you'll bring up the image picker. A smaller version of this comes up a lot of times when you're adding images, either to the website as a whole, or you're adding images to a photo gallery or a photo slider. Then the image picker will come up, a smaller version of this. Now, in order to manage the images, we're going to toggle this, and we need to toggle that anytime we're going to manage images. It says Manage Images. And what it allows us to do is create folders and put the images into the folders. One thing to note here is that technically you're in a folder right now, which is Site Images, and that'll come up later. And you can do a search for images here. So that's the overview of it. I will show you everything in more detail now. We'll close this, and I'm going to do that each time so that we're starting at the beginning, so you could take any of the different steps and start there without being lost. Now I'll show you how to add, rename, and remove a folder. So again, Content, Manage Images. And we need to click Manage Images, and that gives us this blue add folder button. It also shows us the images selected over here. We don't have anything selected right now. So to add a folder, really easy. We just hit this blue button. It says, what do you want it to be called? We'll say kittens. I'll show you that one more time here. Add folder, kittens, and you can click done. I hit enter is what happened, and so that's why it went so fast. So you could hit enter here and it'll save it, or you can press done. That creates the folder. If you want to rename a folder, you click on that, click on the folder you want to rename, and you can see over here it's selected. It says kittens, and we rename it cats. Okay. To delete, I actually left this folder that has some images in it because I wanted to show you something here. To delete a folder, you just have to click on this little X next to the folder. But if you delete a folder that has images in it, it's going to delete all those images, and that might be what you want. It will give you a warning. If you hit delete, it says note, deleting the images will remove it from everything. It removes it not only from this manager, but if you've used the images that are in there anywhere else on your site, then it deletes them from there as well. So you want to think hard about that. I'm just going to X out that. I don't want to do that. So if you're deleting a folder for some reason that had some images in it, what you would do is first you would move the images out of the folder, and we'll get into moving images more later, but I'll show you real quick anyway. You select them all. You can see they say selected all over here. Move to folder, and we're going to do Site Images. You can see that the structure is Site Images, and then our new folders are under Site Images. So we do Site Images, or we could move them to another folder if you had another folder you wanted to move them to. But if you want to move them just back into the main folder, that's the Site Images folder. Now there's no images in there, and we could close it. And you can see it just says now, when there's nothing in there, it just says, do you want to delete? Are you sure you want to delete the folder? It still makes you verify, but it doesn't have the other warning in there. Hit delete. So that's how you add, rename, and delete a folder. Close, close. Now we're going to cover a related function, which is uploading images from your computer. These go hand in hand, and there's a couple of things that have to do with the image manager that you'll want to take into consideration, or the manage images. Content, manage images. There's upload images right here. You click on upload images. You'll need to find the folder on your computer where the images sit. A lot of times your core folders will be over here, or if it's on the desktop, you'll see the desktop. It's going to be different for different people, so there's not a lot I can do as far as showing you what it'll look like for you, but you'll need to find the folder where you have your images on your computer. And then this is a good example of, in this case I have it in list view. We'll make it small icons or large icons. And that's Windows. It's Windows 10. Yours may be different if it's a Mac or a different version of Windows. Let me resize this so you can see it better. So if I want to upload images, then one thing is selecting them, and this may be something you already understand, but I'll explain it anyway here. Then you can click on, if you want to upload multiple images, you can hold down the control key while you click on individual images, and that will select just the images you click on. Now if I let go of the control key and I click on one, you can see that only that one is selected. So if I hold down control, then I can click on individual images. Now if I have a whole series of images, let's say I wanted to upload all the images in a folder, then you can click on the first image in the series that you want to upload, and then you can hold down the shift key and click on the last image, and it'll highlight everything in between. So either way that you're doing it, for selecting multiple images, that's how you select multiple images. We'll just select a couple of these, and then once you have the images selected, you click open at the bottom here, and it'll go through and do this uploading dialog. Once you have all green checks, you click close, and then the images are uploaded. Now the thing to note as far as using folders is that they're all at the top. But I'm going to close everything here, and you'll note I didn't hit the manage images that time because we're just uploading images. It's always the same. In fact, actually I'll go ahead and show you uploading images separately through the image picker. So if let's say you're doing it through the small image picker, which will come up if you're doing it with a photo gallery, or if you're adding it with a widget or photo slideshow. Add image, it brings up the small, it says quick view. It's the quick view of the image picker, and the only real difference here is that the upload images is this little plus sign here. You can also click full view, and it brings up the regular image picker that I've been showing you. Close this. But if you click on this plus, then it's the same thing. And then open. One other note on this, if you select one image, if you upload one image, then it will skip some of these steps. I'll show you here. Close. Upload from computer. Upload one image. And also, if I double click on this, it'll also open it. I'm going to do it the same way every time, but so when you upload one image, it just adds it. It doesn't wait for you to select it. When you add multiple images, then it just puts them here, and then it waits for you to select them in order to add them, and then you'd have to hit done. So that's uploading images. We'll close this out. Now we will add images to the folders. So content, manage images. We need to toggle this manage images. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to go ahead and just add a folder first. So we'll make one for funny. Done. Now there are two ways to add an image to a folder. One way is to simply drag the image into the folder. You can see it gets highlighted. And then when you let go, it says, are you sure you want to move image to funny? You click yes. So if you're doing one or two, that's the easier way to do it. It may be the easier way to do it anyway. You could see for yourself. Another way to do it is to select multiple images. I should note that when you select images here, you don't have to hold down Control to click on multiple images, and if you want to unselect an image, you just click on it again, and the Shift function doesn't work either, where that I showed you when you're uploading images, where you can select multiple images that way. So you have to select each image. So we select a few more images that we want to add to the funny folder, and I'll show you the second way to do it, which is on the right side it shows you the images that are selected. You can see each one has the green checkbox, and then you have a move to folder, and you can select the folder from there. It's funny. You click, you want to move the 3 images to funny, yes, and it moved them to funny. You have all 4 of them there. And to go back to site images, I just did it, but I realized I hadn't told you. You can click on site images. So when you're in funny, if you hover over it, you see it becomes a hand. So you can click on it to get back. Close, close. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little extra thing here, is that you can also create subfolders, so you can have folders inside of folders. I can't imagine that you'll need to use this too much, but it is something that you can do. So again, content, manage images, manage images. To add a subfolder, so let's say we want to have puppies under funny, we want to have a subfolder in there. First we add the folder. That doesn't make it a subfolder. You can see it's on the same level with everything else. There are 2 ways to add it. Probably the most foolproof is to just go to the folder you want to add it. Say I want it to be under funny. So now we're in the funny folder. I clicked on funny, and then you can drag it over here. And you can see that makes it indented. And you can see it up here. Another thing too, another way to do it is, let's put it back in the same order here, is to just drag it to the right, and so that it's a subfolder. So depending on how comfortable you are dragging things, and you can drag it that way to make it a subfolder, or you can drag it into the window. Is, like I said, the more foolproof way of doing it. And we'll go ahead and add a few images to that just for good measure. site images. Select. Now you'll see in the drop down, it just shows it on the same level, even though it's a subfolder. It doesn't indent these. So all the folders are going to show up in the same level here. So that's why I don't know that the subfolder is that important. But it can help. Close this. Close this. Now I'll show you how to move the images around within the folders. So content, manage images. And so let's say you want to move images from the from one folder to another. Again, when you have it open, it's the same function basically as moving them from site images, which is one folder, to a subfolder. So if I want to move it from one folder to another, then I can drag the image into the folder I want it to be in, like I showed you before. I guess I have to select it first. Oh, I'm not in Manage Images. I have to toggle Manage Images first before it'll let me do that stuff. So then it'll let me highlight it. Not sure if it'll let me drop into site images or not. I guess it won't. So as I showed you with deleting a folder, if you want to move it into, if you want to get rid of the image, you want to put it back into the main directory, which is site images, then you select the image, and then from the move folder here, move to folder, site images. It says, are you sure you want to move it? Yes. Now one note here I should mention is that you might be asking, well, how do I put something under multiple categories? Now I will tell you this isn't optimal to do that, to have an image in multiple categories. If you would like to do it, you can do it by just uploading the images again, following the instructions. So for uploading images, and just upload more copies of the image to put them into the folders that you want them to be in. The drawback to that is that anywhere where you're using the, as far as the computer's concerned, those are all individual files, and so it just will play a little havoc with the load time of the site. It's better to just have the images sorted into categories where that's appropriate. They aren't tags, which is what you would normally associate with something where it would allow you to have multiple, where you would allow one image to be in multiple folders. It's more like a regular folder. Like you can think of a file folder where you can only obviously put a physical item in one place. So we'll close this, close this. Now I'm going to show you why we're doing this, how this helps us in when it's time to use images. So we have the photo gallery up. We can use that as an example. We want to add images to the photo gallery. You can look at the photo gallery thing for reference, but you click on the photo gallery, click the plus image or add image up here. Brings up the quick view of the image picker. One of the options here, you have all images, site images, free images, uploaded, etc. But then we have the folders that we put in there. And so you can easily, the cats folder doesn't have anything, select one of these folders and then it shows you just the images in there, and that makes life a little easier if you have a lot of different images. Now I will say that this is a couple extra steps versus putting it in, like if we were putting in a bunch of pictures for this photo gallery specifically, then it's and that was just a one-time thing that we were doing, then it's not a bad solution to just upload them through the image picker. It's going to put all the new ones at the beginning. And I should note too that if you upload images from here, it doesn't automatically put them in the funny folder. The only time that happens is when you're managing images. You can't upload them directly to the folder. You have to upload them and select them and move them into the folder. So if I upload images now, nothing happens to this screen because I'm in funny. But then if I go back to all images, then I'll see the images that I uploaded. But what I was saying here is that you could upload them. It would automatically put them at the beginning of the all images. They're in order by what was uploaded most recently. So that's a perfectly easy way to add a bunch of images. Where it becomes easier to have them in folders and use the system I just showed you is when you have a lot of images and then you may want to use those images later than in other photo galleries or whatever, then having them in the folders makes it easier to find them. Another thing that'll make life easier for you to find them is by naming your images something useful. And I'll show you a trick here. You can actually do this on the fly, although it takes a little bit of extra time. But say I'm uploading an image and I notice that the file name for it is really cryptic. Let's say it's like IMG 00553332 or whatever. That's not an uncommon it's not uncommon for an image to have something like that. There it is. And if I wanted to rename it, I could actually rename it from this screen. You could rename it from your computer, but you can right click and choose rename is one way to do it. Or if you click on it once and then you click on it again, but there's a pause between, so we're not trying to double click. So it's like click once to highlight it and click again. Then it'll come up and you can see that it has the first part of it before the .jpeg. If you don't have the .jpeg, it'll just highlight everything. It's because those are hidden. I won't get into that too much. But then you can name it like stock puppy. You just type in with the highlighted text will get replaced when you start typing. Or if you escape here, if you backspace, then you can start typing. Or we'll do this one. I don't know what just happened. I think I just accidentally deleted it. But more likely I just renamed it something that was further on the list. Here it is. Yeah, I just renamed it puppy because I hit enter. If you use your mouse, your arrows or something, it might end up like this, in which case you actually have to delete it in order to replace it. So I was showing you. Puppy stock. And then you just press enter and it locks in the name. You can see it's putting it in alphabetical order, so every time it jumps to a different spot. Then I can highlight it, open it. Now since I'm opening one image, it just automatically puts it in there. Delete it. But I can show you what I'm talking about here. is if you have the file names in there, then that makes it so that you can do a search for puppy, and you can see all the different images that have puppy in the name. And you can do it for site images, so those are images that have been used in the site, uploaded images. Every time I select the folder, I take it back. When I type in puppy, I think when you type in a search, it does all images by default, it looks like. So that's another trick there. But it's all about making it so that it's easier to find the images. That's what this picker is about, and the image manager is about. And as I showed you in one of the other videos, if you want to go to, you can do full view from here, which means that, and then if you did manage images, all the stuff I showed you in the manage image folder is right here. So you do it on the fly. If I wanted to upload a bunch of images like I was describing, but I wanted to upload them and I wanted to immediately add them to a folder, then I would do that by clicking on the full view. Go back here, click on full view, and then upload the images, and then close this upload dialog here. Once it's all green, select each of the images, and then I need to click manage images, then select each of the images, and then it says move to folder, and then I can move it to a funny folder here like that. And then we're still on the picker for the slideshow. So if I click on the images and then I click close, well, it doesn't look like it added them. I click on the images, but they're there in the folder. Let me check one more thing here. Probably what we have to do in order to, once we use full view, yeah, see it says done, but when we do manage images, then it doesn't have done anymore. So there's one extra step if we did the manage it in between. So we'd upload the images. Say we want to upload the images, and they're green, close. We want to move them into a folder, so we put manage images on, move to folder, funny, yes, and then we'd turn manage images off because we're done managing images, and then we could look at the funny folder, select all the images that we want to add, and hit done, and then it would add it to the gallery. So that's all kind of bonus material, really. Hopefully that'll help you and make things easier for you. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.